Hello, everybody. It is week 8. We're halfway done, and everybody's looking pretty good in the college football world. Having fun. It's time to start playing for bowl games and all that good stuff. So who's going to a bowl, who's not going to a bowl, who's going to win, who's not going to win, all that very well could be answered here in the next 6 to 8 weeks. We'll start with this week in the picks in college football, and we'll start in the Big 12 Conference. Coming up next, don't go away. Welcome back to the Pick Show, everybody. My name's Harry James. After a light week in league play last week, heavy this week in conference play, including a morning brunch and an evening game set in all 3 slots. We'll start with the Rooster kickoffs. There's 2 of them. Looks like Oklahoma State will be in Lawrence at Kansas on Fox Sports 1. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State in this bowl game. Also at 11 a.m., Texas will be on the road at Kansas State on ABC, ESPN, or ESPN2. I'm going to go with the Manhattan Miracle Man, Kansas State. Texas is struggling, and Kansas State not really struggling. It's always hard to play up there. Look for Kansas State to win out there in Manhattan. The Little Apple. 2:30 p.m. West Virginia tries to stay undefeated in their conference title race as they host TCU. TCU will be at West Virginia on ABC or ESPN2 at 2:30 for the middle game. I'm actually going to go with West Virginia in this bowl game. It is not easy to go up there on that road trip. The nightcap features my Sooners, since they've already had a bye week, as they will be hosted by the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Now, you guys know, by the way, that this is going for the past few weeks. I don't like to be called a homer, so I tell you what it's going to take for each team to win. And we'll start with the road team, the Oklahoma Sooners. If my Sooners are going to win again in Lubbock, couple things have got to happen. Defensively, you got to understand that they are Texas Tech. They average a ton of yards and points. You can't get frustrated when you give up a couple of big-time shots to Texas Tech, because you know that offensively, you have the ability to knock back. Offensively, you have the ability to knock back if you're Oklahoma, but it is not easy on the road in a hostile environment in front of Texas Tech fans. They have been called the loudest and the most hostile crowd on the road besides the 2 rivals that we have in Oklahoma State and Texas. You can't let that bug you, though. You have Baker Mayfield. Don't let that bother you. Just go do what you do your job, and Oklahoma should win this contest. What if you're Texas Tech? Well, defensively, be on your man. Tackle the man in front of you. Don't try to make the big play, because Baker Mayfield, as you guys know, can kill you if you try to do that. Don't try to make the big play defensively. And then offensively, trust your offense. You have one of the top offenses in the nation. Just trust your offense. And hey, just make sure you get the ball last. Because if you get the ball last, you very well could win and score and win the contest doing so. That's just me. What about other games around the country? Miami will be on the road at Virginia Tech as they try to bounce back from the North Carolina loss. They'll have to do that, though, in Blacksburg on ESPN on Thursday at 6 o'clock. I'm going to go with the Hokies of Virginia Tech. At 6:30 p.m., Troy State and South Alabama will be on ESPNU. I'm going to go with Troy State. And finally, on ESPN at 9:15, Brigham Young will be at Boise State. I'm going to go with the Mormon Cougars in this one on the road. On Friday night, there's 3 games set for Friday night. 6 o'clock tilt's going to be first. University of South Florida will be at Temple on ESPN. I'm going to go with with South Florida in this contest. The 2 nightcaps include two games. San Jose State will be at San Diego State on ESPN2. I'm going to go with San Diego State. And Oregon will be at Cal Berkeley on ESPN. I'm going to go with Cal. So that's it for the unnormal weeks. What about the normal contests? The Saturday contests. Rooster kickoffs, 11 a.m. North Texas will be at Army on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with the Knights of the Army. University of Massachusetts will be at South Carolina on the SEC Network. I'm going to go with SEC Network. I'm going to go with North Carolina. Central Florida will be at the University of Connecticut on ESPN News. I'm going with UConn. Central Michigan at Toledo on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Toledo. Miami of Ohio will be at Bowling Green on ESPN3. I'm going with Bowling Green. Indiana will be at Northwestern on the Big Ten Network. I'm going to go with Northwestern. Wisconsin will try to bounce back on the road in Iowa City against Iowa on either ABC, ESPN, or ESPN2. I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes. And North Carolina State will try to bounce back as they will be on the road at Louisville on ABC, ESPN, or ESPN2. I'm going to go with Louisville. ESPNU will also have a game as Rutgers will be at Minnesota. I'm going to go with Minnesota in this contest. Sticking with the earlier kickoffs, 11:30 a.m. is one final a.m. kickoff on the ACC network. Syracuse will be at Boston College. I'm going to go with Boston College. The afternoon kickoffs, after you get getting a couple of bratwursts in you, you can also, on ESPN3, you can watch Ohio at Kent State. I'm going to go with the Bobcats of Ohio. At 1 o'clock on the Mountain West Network, Hawaii will be at Air Force. I'm going to go with Air Force in this contest. The 2 o'clock kickoffs, there's 3 of them. ESPN3 will have one. Akron will be at Ball State on ESPN3.com. I'm going to go with Ball State. Colorado will be at Stanford on the Pac-12 network. I'm actually going to go with Stanford in this ball game in that it's played in Palo Alto. If it was played in Boulder, I might feel a little differently. Finally, North Carolina will take their high-octane offense that's taken care of both Florida State and Miami the last few weeks. They'll take it on the road as they will go out to Virginia, UNC at Virginia. That game will be on the ACC network. All right, you get a couple burgers on the grill, you're good to go. Now you're ready for the 2:30 kickoffs. A lot of them are on the shelf for this one. Memphis will be at Navy on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with the Navy Midshipmen. On the Big Ten Network, you'll see Illinois at Michigan. I'm going to go with the Wolverines. ABC or ESPN2 will have Purdue and Nebraska. I'm going to go with Nebraska since the game's in Lincoln. Idaho State will be at Appalachian State on ESPN3.com. I'm going to go with App State. Tennessee Martin will be at Georgia State on ESPN3.com. I'm going to go with Tennessee Martin. Also on ESPN3.com, Buffalo will be at University of Northern Illinois. I'm going to go with Northern Illinois. And ESPN3 also has Eastern Michigan at Western Michigan, the battle of the directional Michigan schools. I'm going to go with Western in this ball game on this. That game will be on ESPN3. And Prairie View will be at Rice on the Ben Network. I'm actually going to go with Rice in this contest. And then finally, the game of the week, from what a lot of people say, Texas A&M take the Giga Aggies and our old buddy Trevor Knight on the road as he tries to go 2-0 against Alabama. This time on the road in Tuscaloosa. I'm actually going to go with A&M in this, Alabama in this contest, but look for A&M to kind of keep it close. One game will be set at 2:45, Tulane at Tulsa on ESPNU. I think Tulsa's going to bounce back. They probably very well should have beaten Houston last week. 3 p.m. game, there's 2 of them. Fox will have Utah at UCLA on Fox, as we said. I'm going to go with UCLA. ESCC Network will have Middle Tennessee State, and they will be at Missouri as Missouri tries to bounce back. I'm going to go with Missouri on the SEC Network. 4:30 p.m., Colorado State will be at University of Las Vegas, UNLV, on the Roots Sports Network. I'm going to go with Las Vegas. Also on the Ben Network, Charlotte will be at Marshall. I'm going to go with Marshall Herd. 5 p.m. ESPN will have Arkansas trying to stay hot as they will go on the road at Auburn on ESPN. I'm going to go with Auburn. 5:30 p.m. Oregon State will be at Washington on the Pac-12 Network. I'm going to go with Washington at 5:30. 6 o'clock, there's a lot of games at 6 o'clock, including Louisiana Tech at Florida International on ESPN3. I'm going to go with FIU. Old Dominion will be at Western Kentucky on the Armed Sports Network. I'm going to go with Western Kentucky. Battle for Texas. UTEP will be at UTSA. Battle for Small Towns in Texas on the KMYS Network. They're in San Antonio. I'm going to go with UTSA. CBS Sports Network will have East Carolina at Cincinnati. On the CBS Sports Network, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. And also from the AAC at 6 o'clock, you'll have Houston trying to win again at SMU after a couple rough games. One against Navy, of course, and last week against Tulsa. This week they'll be at SMU. Houston at SMU on ESPN2. I'm taking Houston. And finally, Louisiana Lafayette will be at Texas State on ESPN3. I'm taking Texas State. The 30-minute clock then turns to 6:30 for a couple of contests. 3 of them, in fact. The Big Ten Network, the SEC Network, and ESPNU. Starting on the Big Ten Network, you'll see Michigan State at Maryland on the Big Ten Sports Network. I'm going to go with Maryland. The SEC Network will have Mississippi State at Kentucky. I'm going to go with the Kentucky Wildcats in this one. And finally, ESPNU will have Tennessee State, at Vanderbilt. I'm going to go with Vandy in this ballgame on ESPNU. 7 o'clock, there's 2 more games. Georgia Southern will be at New Mexico State on ESPN3. I'm actually going to go with New Mexico State in this ballgame. And the ABC, the primetime game, the Ohio State Buckeyes takes their long road trip, not very long, at Penn State on the road in Happy Valley, Ohio, as they'll travel to Penn State on ABC. But I'm still going with the Ohio State University. 8 o'clock, Ole Miss will be at LSU on ESPN. Even though they fired Les Miles, it's still going to be a night game in Louisiana State. Not going to be easy. I'm taking LSU. Pac-12 Network, Roots Sports Network will also have University of Louisiana Monroe at New Mexico. I'm going to go with New Mexico. 9 o'clock, Pac-12 Network. Washington State will be at Arizona State. I'm going to go with Arizona State. Finally, 9:30, there's 2 more games. CBS Sports Network will have Fresno State at Utah State. I'm going to go with Utah State on the CBS Sports Network. And on the Deuce, ESPN2, Wyoming will be at Nevada on ESPN2. I'm going with Nevada. All right, guys. My name's Terry James. Thanks for watching. Do not take these picks to Vegas. I am not a professional caller or anything. I just make these calls because I have fun with it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the show. Find me on Facebook, Harry James Taylor. YouTube is BoomerSooner1982, or tweet me at Sooner_fan_OK. Thanks for watching, everybody, and enjoy this week of college football. Week 9 is going to be up next weekend. See y'all then. I'm out of here. See ya.